1. Introduction. My name is Daisy. I want to tell you about my life. My story starts many years ago when I was a young woman. I was very young when I got married for the first time. I remember that time well. I was full of hope and dreams for the future. I thought my life would be happy and full of love forever. But my first marriage was very short. It lasted only a little time. My husband left me. He just went away. This made my heart feel very, very sad. It broke my heart completely. I felt a deep pain that stayed with me for a long time. It was a difficult time to live through. After my husband left, I lived alone. I did not have any children. I spent many, many years by myself. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, and then years. I was alone for a very long time. This made me feel a deep sadness and sometimes a great loneliness. I had to learn to be strong for myself. It was not easy. Every day I worked hard. I learned to manage everything on my own. I made my own money. I bought my own home. I built a life that was strong and independent. I could do many things without help. People around me saw a strong woman. They saw someone who was brave and lived her own life. But even though my life was good and I was independent, there was always a feeling inside me. It was a quiet feeling, a deep longing that I did not share with anyone. It was a wish for something more, a wish for companionship and love. I never spoke about this feeling. It stayed hidden in my heart. I smiled and I worked, and I lived my strong, independent life. But that deep, unspoken sense of longing was always there, a quiet echo in my heart year after year. 2. A quiet life. My life after my first marriage was very quiet. I made a clear routine for myself. Every morning I woke up early, before the sun was fully in the sky. I would make a simple breakfast and drink a cup of hot tea. Then I would prepare for my work. I had a job in a small office in town. I helped people with their paperwork and answered phone calls. It was a calm job, and I liked the order it brought to my days. I worked 5 days a week, filling much of my time. In the afternoons, after work, I often went to the local library. I loved to read books. I read many different kinds of stories, some about faraway places, some about interesting people. Reading was a good friend to me. It took me to other worlds and helped me forget that I was alone in my quiet house. My evenings were usually spent at home, cooking a small meal for one. The house was often silent, except for the sound of the clock ticking. Sometimes on the weekends, I would take small trips. I traveled to nearby towns, sometimes by bus, sometimes by train. I visited old churches, walked in pretty parks, and sat by quiet rivers. I always went by myself. These trips were nice, but they also made me feel the lack of companionship more strongly. I saw other people, couples, and families laughing and sharing their experiences. I wished I had someone beside me to share a cup of coffee or point out a beautiful flower. My friends and family cared about me, and they would often ask about my single life. "Daisy," they would say, "are you truly happy by yourself? Or don't you want to find someone new?" I always gave them the same answer. I would smile a big, bright smile. I would tell them, "Oh, yes, I am perfectly happy. My life is full and I have everything I need." I tried to make them believe it, but deep down in the quietest part of my heart, I felt a longing. It was a silent wish, a secret hope that love would find me again. I wanted someone to share the small moments of life with a quiet dinner, a walk in the park, a simple conversation about a book. I wanted a hand to hold, a kind voice to hear every day. I wanted to feel that special connection with another person. I lived a full life, but it was a life lived alone, and I yearned for a partner to share it with. This quiet wish stayed with me for many years. 3. The meeting. One lovely afternoon, I decided to visit the local park. The sun was shining brightly, and a gentle breeze made the trees move softly. Many people were enjoying the day, walking with their dogs or sitting on the green grass. I walked slowly along the path, breathing in the fresh air. I liked the peaceful atmosphere of the park. As I walked, I saw a man sitting on a wooden bench. He was completely focused on a book he was holding. The book had a dark blue cover, and he seemed very interested in its pages. I thought about finding another bench, but this one was in a nice, sunny spot. So I walked towards it and sat down a little way from him. At this time, I was 70 years old. The man had gray hair, neatly combed. He wore a light blue shirt and dark trousers. He looked calm and quiet. After a few moments, he looked up from his book. He saw me and offered a kind smile. It was a warm and friendly smile that reached his eyes. I felt a small, pleasant feeling inside me. I smiled back at him. Then he spoke first. "Hello," he said, his voice soft and gentle. I replied, "Hello." This was the simple start of my meeting with Pete. He later told me he was 65 years old. We began to talk. Our conversation was easy and natural. We spoke about the good weather and how beautiful the park looked that day. He asked me if I often visited the park, and I told him yes. I asked him about the book he was reading, and he shared a little about the story. We talked about small, everyday things, but it felt special. As we continued to chat, I found myself looking at his face. His eyes were friendly, and his laugh was a soft, pleasant sound. Something surprising started to grow inside me. It was a feeling I had not felt for a very, very long time. It was like a small, warm spark. This spark was new and completely unexpected. I had not experienced such a feeling in many, many decades. My heart felt lighter with each word we shared. It felt a little bit young again, even at 70. This was a wonderful and surprising moment. I had not been looking for love, and I certainly did not expect to find it during a quiet afternoon in the park. But there it was, a clear and gentle presence. This meeting felt truly different. It was more than just a friendly chat. It felt like a quiet, new beginning, bringing a happiness I had almost forgotten. 4. His story. After we talked for a little while, Pete started to tell me about his life. He spoke slowly, and I listened carefully. It was interesting to hear his story. He said that he was never married. This was a surprise to me. I thought maybe he had a wife before, like me, but he did not. Pete told me he spent many years working. He worked very hard. His job took up most of his time. Day after day, he went to work. He focused on his tasks. He did not have much time for other things. He explained that he always thought about work. He wanted to do well. He wanted to be good at his job. Because of this, he did not look for a wife. He did not try to start a family. As he spoke, his voice became a little sad. He told me that he often felt lonely. Even with all his work, he felt alone sometimes. He would go home, and his house was quiet. There was no one there to talk to. There was no one to share his day with. He said he regretted this. He wished he had a family. He wished he had children. He always wanted to have a wife and small children around him. But time went by very fast. 1 year became another. Then many years passed. He suddenly realized he was older and he was still alone. He told me about his dreams. He dreamed of a happy home. He dreamed of laughter. He dreamed of sharing his life with someone special. But these dreams did not come true for him. He felt a little sad when he said this. I listened to every word. My heart felt a connection to his words. As he spoke, I understood him well. His story was different from mine in some ways. I had been married, but it was a short time. He had never been married. But in other ways, our stories were very much the same. We both knew what it felt like to be alone. We both knew the quiet of a home with only one person. We both knew the feeling of wanting more. We both knew the deep wish for a family. I felt a strong bond growing between us. It was a special feeling. It was like we were two parts of one story. We had both lived many years alone. We both had secret wishes for companionship. Now, sitting on this park bench, we found each other. His eyes looked at mine. I could see the truth in them. I could see his feelings. It made me feel less alone, too. For many years, I thought my feelings were only mine. Now, I knew someone else understood. Pete understood. We both had lived a life of work and quiet. We both had dreams that did not come true. But maybe, just maybe, it was not too late for new dreams. As he finished his story, a new hope started to grow in my heart. 5. Falling in love. After our first talk, Pete and I started to meet more often. It felt very natural. We often walked in the big park near my house. The weather was usually nice, and the green trees made us feel calm. Sometimes, we just sat on the same bench where we first met. We talked about small things, like the birds singing or the clouds in the sky. Other times, we went to a small coffee shop. We drank warm coffee and ate small cookies. These simple moments became very special to me. We shared many laughs together. Pete had a kind sense of humor. He made me smile often. His jokes were never mean. He just saw the funny side of everyday life. I found myself laughing more than I had in many years. It was a joyful sound. It made my heart feel light. I felt like a young woman again, full of energy and happiness. This feeling was new and wonderful. It was a surprise after so many quiet years. As we spent more time together, people in the town started to notice us. When we walked or sat at the coffee shop, some people would look. I could hear them whisper softly to each other. Maybe they were surprised to see an older woman like me with a new friend. Maybe they thought it was strange, but I did not care what they said or what they thought. Their words did not touch my happiness. I was truly happy, and that was all that mattered. My happiness was a strong shield. One day, as we walked, Pete gently took my hand. His hand was warm and strong. This simple touch sent a wonderful feeling through me. It was a small thing, but it meant so much. It made me feel safe and loved. I had not felt a hand hold mine like that in a very, very long time. In that moment, I felt completely alive. It was as if a long sleep had ended. My heart, which had been quiet, began to beat with a new rhythm. I had always thought that love was something from my past. I believed it was gone forever. I had built a strong life alone. I had accepted that true love might never return. But now, with Pete, everything was different. He showed me that love could come back when I least expected it. It could find me again, even at an age when I thought it was impossible. Each day with Pete was a new lesson. It was a lesson that love is patient and kind. It waits and then it shines again. I was falling in love slowly and beautifully with Pete. It was a wonderful, unexpected gift. 6, people talk. Our happiness grew each day. Pete and I spent many hours together. We walked in the park, sat by the lake, and drank warm coffee. We talked about everything. We laughed a lot. I felt like a young woman again, full of life and joy. It was a wonderful time, a time I had waited for many decades. But not everyone was happy for us. In our small town, people saw us. They saw a woman of 70 years and a man of 65 years. They saw us holding hands. They saw us smiling at each other. Soon the talking started. Whispers began in the market, in the bakery, and on the street corners. At first, it was just quiet words. I heard some things from my friends. They told me that people were asking questions about us. "Is Daisy really in love?" they would say. "She is too old for a new love story." These words were like small, sharp stones thrown at my heart. They did not break it, but they made it hurt a little. It was hard to hear such things after finding happiness. Then, the words became louder and more direct. I heard people say, "Pete only wants Daisy's money." This was a very bad thing to say about him. I had worked hard all my life. I had saved some money for my future, but Pete was not like that. He was a kind man. He loved me, not my money. This gossip made me very sad. It made me angry, too. How could people be so unkind? I told Pete about the things people were saying. I was worried. I thought maybe he would feel bad and leave me. I looked at him, and my eyes were full of tears. I felt old and foolish. I thought perhaps they were right. Perhaps I was too old for love. Pete listened to me quietly. He held my hand tightly. His eyes were kind and steady. He looked at me and said, "Daisy, listen to me. I do not care what these people say. Their words are not true. They do not know our hearts. They do not know our love." He looked at me with so much love in his eyes. He said, "I love you, Daisy. That is all that matters to me. Your money means nothing to me. Your age means nothing to me. Only you, only us together." His words were strong and clear. They were like a warm, protective blanket wrapped around me. His simple declaration of love made all the bad words disappear from my mind. In that moment, I knew he was true. I knew our love was real and strong. We decided to face the town together. We would not hide our feelings or our happiness. We would not let their mean words stop our joy. We walked hand in hand, just like before, through the town square. We smiled at everyone we saw. Some people looked away quickly. Some still whispered. But it did not matter to us anymore. We had each other. We had our love. And that was stronger than any gossip. Our bond grew even deeper because of this challenge. 7, a new start. Pete and I shared many happy moments. We faced difficult words from others, but our love grew stronger. One day, Pete looked at me with a special light in his eyes. We were in the park on our bench. The sun was warm. It was an extraordinary day. Pete took my hand. It felt warm and safe. He smiled, a gentle smile that made my heart feel light. Then he spoke words I thought I would never hear again. He asked me to marry him. "Daisy," he said, "will you be my wife?" For a moment, I could not speak. My eyes filled with tears. These were not sad tears, but tears of deep joy. I had lived many years believing love was not for me. I had accepted a quiet, alone life. Now, at 70, a wonderful man was asking me to start a new life. It felt like a dream. I nodded. I could not say yes at first because of happy tears. Pete smiled wider. He understood. He put his arm around me. We sat there for a long time, holding each other. It was a moment I would never forget. My heart felt full after so many empty years. The idea of getting married again was surprising. I had been a young bride many decades ago, but that memory was painful. Now, I felt like a true bride again. At 70, I was ready to say I do with all my heart. This time, it was different. It felt right and peaceful. We decided on a small and simple wedding. We did not need a big party. Our love was enough. We invited a few close friends and family. The day was beautiful. I wore a simple, pretty dress. Pete wore a nice suit. We stood together, smiling. When we said our vows, I looked into Pete's eyes. I saw kindness and deep love. My heart, broken for so long, felt completely healed. It was a new start, a fresh beginning. This wedding was a promise of a new life, full of joy and companionship. My journey had led me to this moment. I was thankful. We would share every day together as husband and wife. 8. Our life together. This is the end of my story. I want to share one important lesson with everyone. Love can come at any age. Many people think that love is only for young people. They believe that when you are old, your time for love is over. But this is not true. My life is proof of this lesson. For many, many years, I waited for love. After my first marriage ended, I thought I would never find it again. I lived alone for a long time. Sometimes I felt sad. Sometimes I felt like giving up hope. I thought my heart would always be alone. But then something wonderful happened. Love found me when I least expected it. It found me when I was 70 years old. It truly surprised me. Now, Pete and I live our life together. Every day is a new joy. We wake up together. We eat our meals together. We talk about our day. We share our thoughts and our dreams. We take walks in the park, just like when we first met. We read books side by side. We listen to music. These simple things make our days full and happy. We enjoy every quiet moment. We know we are not young anymore. Our hair is gray, and we have wrinkles on our faces. We do not run or dance like young people, but our love is new. It is fresh and kind. It is very true. Our love is full of understanding and respect. We support each other every day. We laugh a lot. We feel a deep peace when we are together. This kind of love is special. It has grown from many years of life experience. It is strong and quiet. Meeting Pete was the best thing that ever happened to me. Finding love at 70 was the happiest time of my life. It showed me that it is never too late to open your heart. It is never too late to find happiness. My life with Pete is a beautiful gift. I am so thankful for every moment we share. This is our life together, and it is perfect for us.